Hi Neil.
Hi.
So today we're going to have a look at Unit E6, which is the health and safety requirements, and it's about you following health and safety guidelines, but also what you do for your organisation in terms of health and safety.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll just go through each of the standards, and I'll record on a plan the evidence that you need to generate. So just generally, what do you do here for the company in terms of health and safety?
As part of my job description, it's kind of looking after my job to look after the health and safety policy for the company. We do actually have a health and safety policy in place, and also what we did, or I did, was go to the Health and Safety Executive website and print off a specimen health and safety plan and risk assessment plan, and use that as a platform to put in a health and safety policy for the company.
Right, okay. So the company's got a health and safety policy, and then...
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Any risk assessments associated
Well, the risk
with that?
assessments come out from the health and safety plan. They're part of the policy itself and part of the health and safety plan.
Okay, that sounds good then. So what we'll do is we'll just read each of the standards and then come up with like any kind of evidence that you think you can gather for each one.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is identify your personal responsibilities and liabilities under health and safety. So how do you know in your role what you should be doing to follow health and safety guidelines?
Well, through the health and safety policy and through the guideline from the policy that we printed off from the Health and Safety Executive website, that provides the guidance of what needs to be done.
Okay.
And who does it, and the who is allocated to myself.
That's you that does that,
Yeah.
okay. Is there anything in your job description about health and safety?
Yes, the sort of the responsibility of the health and safety policy for the company is delegated to me within my job description.
Okay, so for that one then, if you can maybe get the health and safety policy and just highlight the area that says what your responsibilities are. I think there's a bit about employees' responsibilities to make sure that they're safe and all that kind of stuff. And if you get your job description and highlight the area that says you're responsible for health and safety, that should cover that standard. So standard 2 then is ensure that the organisation's written health and safety policy statement is clearly communicated to all people in your area of responsibility. So when you downloaded and changed the policy and risk assessments, how did you communicate that to the team?
That was sent to every member of the team for them to read and sign, and sort of make clear that they'd read it, understood it, and that was documented. And at team meetings, as and when is required, we discuss any health and safety issues that may or may not have arisen during that time period. The policy has to be checked or reread annually by every member of staff, and any new member of staff that comes in will be given it as part of their...
So if you can gather then for this standard how you've communicated the policy, so whether it was an email or whatever to the team to ask them to check it, and also your team meeting minutes.
We've got.
You can do that.
We've got the minutes.
That'd be great. So 3 is ensure that the health and safety policy statement is put into practice in your area of responsibility and is subject to review as situations change and at regular intervals. So you've already said you annually you check it.
Annually, everybody has to read the policy and risk assessments and check that everything's up to date, or if anything has changed perhaps in their
so
environment.
I think if we put in the risk assessments, that would be helpful there. And is there a date on the risk assessments of when things are reviewed?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, there's a date on it, and then obviously there's a next to the date that we do it, there's an arrow to the sort of the next review date, which will invariably be a year from that date.
Okay.
Also done, of course, when there's any new member of staff comes in, they have to do it within the first couple of days.
Okay, perfect.
Of their enrolment as part of their induction to the company.
Right. So that's good then. So number 4, ensure regular consultation. So we'll already have the stuff you've got there. So your communication to the team about updating the risk assessments and also your team meeting minutes. So we've got that evidence, that'll cover that.
That'll be available.
And then number 5 is seek and make use of specialist expertise in relation to health and safety. So are there any examples of that?
Yeah, we had to have the annual PAT testing done, so we got in touch with McGill's, a local electrical company, to come out and do that. They sent a guy down.
Part testing, is that the electrical
Portable electrical appliances.
appliance testing? Yeah, okay.
Along with that. So the guy came down and sorted that out. Obviously then we get the fire brigader out, usually once a year, maybe once every couple of years, to check the fire appliance, fire extinguishers,
All right, okay.
and any other.
So there'll be logs or something for that, won't there?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
so
we've got documentation from McGill's for the work that they carried out, plus a very large bill.
Okay. Right, so I think that's fine. Does that make sense what you've got to go and gather then? So you're looking for a health and safety policy, job description, any risk assessments that you've done, which I think is the same document as the policy now, isn't it? Your team meeting minutes, and then the proof of the part testing and the fire
Yeah, we've got
appliances.
that.
Perfect. Okay. So if you could go and get that before our next meeting and just sign there, that'd be good.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks very much. That's yours then.
Okay.
Take away.
Fine.